ਕਾਸ਼ ਸਿਆਣਪ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੁਕਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ, 2 ਪਿਲਸ ਮੁੱਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ। But wisdom is not sold at the shops. Wisdom comes with experience, wisdom comes with understanding and changing certain things in your life. A lot of changes we make, a lot of things we control. We try to control people in our lives, family members, things that happen. But the one thing that we need to control and we are not able to do that is our own mind. ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਔਖਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਹੈ। To be able to understand the mind, and then there are techniques by which the mind transforms. But ਮਾਰੂ ਮਾਰਨ ਜੋ ਗਏ ਮਾਰ ਨਾ ਸਕੈਂ ਗਵਾਰ, ਨਾਨਕ ਜੇ ਇਹ ਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ। Guru Amar Das Ji says, those who want to kill the mind, eradicate the mind, they can never do it. Because what is mind? It's our thoughts, our feelings, everything combined together is our mind. So how can you kill this? A lot of times when they say you become mindless, what they mean to say is you become so focused in this moment that the thoughts which are troubling you, they don't trouble you anymore. Or you become the master of your thoughts. And how to become that master is to be able to awaken the observer. How do you do that? There are some techniques in Gurbani, beautifully explained, and today even modern psychology is able to say, wow, this technique works. And they have termed it as cognitive dissociation. What is that? You start dissociating with your thoughts, your feelings, your mind. But in Gurbani, Guru Sahib teaches us this technique by separating yourself from each and every important organ. For example, he starts talking to his tongue. And when we read Gurbani, we are able to do the same thing. We start talking to our tongue and say, Rasna tu anaras raj rahi teri pyas na jaye. Oh my tongue, you have so many desires to fulfill. You want to eat and consume so much, your thirst never goes away. What are you doing here? You have separated yourself from your tongue. Cognitive dissociation. Then you start talking to your eyes. Oh, you have this habit of looking at the most beautiful things, but again, your thirst never goes away. Ears, you love to listen to the slander of other people. Then, Holly, he talks to the limbs, he talks to the feet, he talks to the mind. And he says, E man mereya, tu sada raho har nale. When you start talking to your mind, you're opening a very new chapter. What you're saying is, my mind, my thoughts are not me. I am different. I am separate from these two. With that, there awakens another entity inside you that is able to observe whatever is going on. This observer is able to see the realities of life, is able to see that life is actually transitory. I'm not here forever. This is the observation. Is able to see that all my disappointments are coming from my expectations. Observation. Not everybody's expectations are fulfilled, and not everybody is going to be fully satisfied. So if there are some things missing in my life, it is okay. Observation. Not only that, you start going against your mind also. How? In the olden times, we called this as tap karna. What is that? Penance. Sometimes you're sitting in a hot room and you're feeling very hot, and they would tell you to take a blanket on top. You sweat profusely, but you tell yourself, it's all right. I know the mind is saying, oh, I'm going to die. But you tell your mind, it's okay. I'm not saying you have to do this, because when people started doing this and they went on to become egoistic about this, that's where Guru Sahib had to oppose this and say, no, it's not serving the purpose. He gives two definitions to make us understand a few things. One is manmukh, a person who only follows the mind, or in other words, gives in to all the cravings of the mind. As I said in the previous video, that mind has the tendency, it thinks a lot, it has a lot of cravings, it doesn't know how to get satiated, and it escapes, it doesn't want to change. So what you do is, if you are a person who is giving into the mind all the time, then you are what Guru Sahib terms as manmukh. But if you start opposing the mind, you start realizing there is a power inside you, much like a lot of parents who have children who are spoiled brats. Instead of giving in to them all the time, what they say is, I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to be a little strict with you. So Guru Sahib has even put up a scenario like a horse. Your mind is like a horse. And sometimes you have to use the whip of love, not violence, to be able to train your horse, to be able to train your mind. You have to rise above. You cannot just give in to the mind. In small little practices, for example, you've gone to a dinner party and there are desserts in front of you. And you tell yourself, this is not good for me. Starting from Surta, awareness, Mat, good or bad, Man, craving, but now you become Buddhi. You start having that awareness, this is not right for me. So even if you have to give in a little bit, you say, all right, I'll take a little bit, but that's it. And sometimes you say, no, today I'm not going to do it. There is an awakening. And this doesn't happen overnight. The awakening comes about in episodes. In every aspect of your life, when you are able to go against your mind. For example, you know that exercising is important for you. But the time comes and the mind says, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow, too lazy today, I'm so sleepy, it's okay, tomorrow I'll have a fresh day. And you give into it. So the mind becomes stronger. But if you oppose your mind and say, no, time to exercise, we need to do it. You take charge. This awakening of the observer is what Guru Sahib calls as Gurmukh, to follow the Guru. It is you who is the observer, no doubt about that. But if we become very egoistic about being an observer, in the end, the ego kills us. So Guru Sahib found a better way out. He said, these are the thoughts of the Supreme, of the Guru, of the Lord, who is inside me. That observer, the awakened one, is inside me. But I'm going to call it my Guru's blessings. Hence, when you wake up and you start doing things which are right, your mind looks at somebody else and starts becoming jealous and starts weeping. Why don't I have all those things? And starts grumbling a lot. You quieten the mind down and say, look at the things that you have. You literally start having dialogues with your mind. And with practice, you realize all the time there will be two of you. Your mind is speaking one thing and you literally become a ventriloquist to Always quieten your mind down and speak to your mind. ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਔਰ ਮੰਨੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ. Guru Sahib has talked to the mind and taught us how to walk about this path. He doesn't believe in penance. He doesn't believe in becoming too harsh. But he does believe in certain practices that can lead to the awakened self, which has control. For example, I like this concept in Japanese. They eat only 70-80%. Whenever they're eating any meals, when they come to a point of 70-80%, they are so alert, they are so conscious about it that ਉਹ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਢਿੱਡ ਭਰਦਾ ਵਾ ਹਾਲੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਰਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. They are not satisfied yet, but they stop eating. They say, that's it. Now think about it from my perspective. I would love to continue eating if the meal is very delicious. My mind will not be able to stop. You need so much of a strength to say, that's it. Bas. That is the awakening of buddhi. Buddhi is beyond the mind. So, tithe kadiyan surt, mat, man, buddh. And buddh is, as I said, with experience, with transformations, with little battles that you have over the mind, the little victories that come about. As you change, there's a book by James Allen, beautiful book, As a Man Thinketh, As You Think. This book says, as you think, so you become. And actually what it means is there is an entity inside you, the observer inside you, that is able to think beyond the mind. Because mind is about the conditionings that we have, the thoughts that we have, the worries that we have. So all those things are going in one way, but you awaken to that and say, no, I'm going to go the other way. So if you are able to do it, then you understand the 4 aspects of Sharamkhand, Titha Kadiyan, Surt, Mat, Man, Buddh. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But if we are consistent, it does take place. Thank you so much for listening, Ji. Apologies for the mistakes. Guru Fateh, Sat Sri Akal, Salam, Namaste. Thank you so much. See you again.